So you used to be a lot more confident. You used to speak up in meetings, share your ideas, new ideas, advocate for yourself. But somewhere along the way in your career, you stopped. Now you find that you are second guessing everything. You don't apply to certain jobs because you don't think you're qualified, or you show up to your performance reviews and you kind of just go with the flow with your manager instead of leading or driving the conversation. And you have started to believe that maybe you're just not as good as you thought you were. But here's what I need you to understand. You are not insecure. Your job is destroying your confidence. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how doing misaligned work erodes your confidence over time. I'm going to help you see the difference between work that is just hard, but at least fulfilling, versus work that is both hard and draining. And I'm going to share with you why the solution to this problem isn't fixing your self-esteem. If you're new here, hi, and if you are a regular viewer, welcome back. I'm Dr. Tega, a career coach who helps mid-career professional women leave draining jobs that they don't like and land higher paying, more fulfilling careers by helping them clarify their next career move and job search without burning out to land that job. Let's get into today's video. Okay, let me start by painting a picture of what confidence destruction actually looks like in your career. You stop applying to jobs because you tell yourself that you're not qualified enough, even though on paper you have the experience, even though you've been doing this kind of work for years. You look at a job posting and you immediately focus on the one requirement that you don't have instead of the 10 that you do, and you talk yourself out of it before you even try. You stop speaking up in meetings. Like before, you used to share ideas, you used to propose solutions, you used to contribute to the conversation. Now you just sit there and you stay quiet. You tell yourself that your idea is probably not good enough, that someone else probably already thought of your idea, that is probably just not worth saying anything. So you don't say anything. And then 2 minutes later, someone else says something similar to exactly what you were thinking, and everybody loves it. And now you feel even worse because in your head, you're like, I should have spoken up. I had that exact same idea. Or you show up to your one-on-ones and your performance reviews, but you don't drive the conversation anymore. You're not advocating for yourself. You're not advocating for resources. You're not asking for what you want. You don't talk about your accomplishments or even make a case for why you deserve a raise or a promotion. You just go with the flow. You take whatever ratings they give you and you tell yourself that you should just be grateful to have a job. And you start telling yourself all these stories in your head. Maybe I'm not as skilled as I thought. Maybe I don't have value to add to another organization. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm just not as good at this job. And you just settle and just let things happen to you. You stop believing that you have any power to change your career situation. And the worst part is that you think that this is a you problem. You think you need to work on your confidence. You think you need to build your self-esteem. You think that if you were just better, braver, more secure in yourself, you would feel different. But girl, that's not what's happening here. Your job is the reason you're not confident in yourself. Because when you are doing unaligned work for long enough, the very nature of the work makes you doubt yourself. It makes you doubt your skills and it makes you doubt your abilities. And this usually happens in two ways, okay? The first is that the toxic environment wears you down. When you're in a toxic work environment, people treat you like you're not good enough. And over time, you start internalizing that external message that you're not good enough. Maybe you bring up an idea in a meeting and it gets ignored, but then someone else says literally the exact same thing and everybody's like high-fiving them and everybody loves the idea. Or maybe you're constantly being overlooked for opportunities. So you see promotions that are going to people who have been at that company for less time than you. You see projects being handed to people with less experience than you. And now you're wondering, what's wrong with me? Why am I not being seen? I've even seen clients who proposed roles that they built from scratch. Like they identified a gap in the organization. They put together the entire framework. They pitched it to leadership and their manager loved it. And then they hired someone else. They hired somebody else to fill the role that they created. Think about what that does to you. You did the work, you saw the need, you solved the problem, and you still got passed over. That doesn't just make you doubt your skills. It also makes you doubt your worth. And when you are in that environment long enough, you start to believe the story that they are telling you about yourself. The story that you're not ready, that you're not leadership material, that you're not as valuable as you think you are, even if it's not true. It is legit just a nature of time spent in an environment. You eventually start absorbing the messaging and beliefs of the environment. Then the second way your job can eat at your confidence is that the work itself can make you doubt yourself. So even if the environment isn't toxic, the work that you're doing can destroy your confidence if it's not aligned. Because when you're doing work that doesn't fit you, it doesn't feel good when you do it. You're not learning, you're not growing, you're not improving your skill set, you're not advancing, you're just kind of getting through the day. Over time, you start to think, maybe I don't have anything valuable to bring to this company or another company. You start to think, maybe I'm not as capable as I thought I was. Like, I once had a client who had been in accounting for years. So she had actually gone from one accounting job to another to another. So she had 3 accounting jobs and she did not like any of them. And that made her start doubting herself, especially because she had gone to school for accounting. So she would tell herself, like, I went to school for this. I should be good at this. This should come naturally to me. But it didn't. Like, the work felt kind of tedious. It felt draining. It didn't energize her. And so she started thinking that maybe she just wasn't as accomplished as she thought she was. Like, maybe she wasn't cut out for a successful career. Maybe all her career choices up until that point had been wrong. And so she felt like she was the problem. But after we worked together and she got career clarity, she realized, no, the kind of work was the problem, not her. Like, she wanted to be doing something more creative, something that allowed her to express herself a little bit more. And she wanted to just use her brain in a different way. And once she got that clarity, she eventually had the confidence to ask for those kind of roles at her current organization. And she ended up transitioning into a more creative role in marketing. And suddenly she wasn't doubting herself anymore because the work fit her. It energized her. It made her feel capable again. That's the power of doing aligned work. And I really want to be clear about something. Work is sometimes hard, okay? Fulfilling work is still work. You're still going to have moments where you have to figure things out, where you're learning something new and it might not come as easily to you, where you're problem solving and it takes effort for you to solve the problem. That's normal. But here's the difference I want you to pay attention to. The very nature of fulfilling work is that even in the moments when it is hard and you have to figure things out, it still pours back into you. It still makes you feel good. Like, I think of myself. When I first became a professor, I almost didn't take a job as a professor because I didn't think I had the skills to do research. I was legit terrified. In my first few years on the job, there was a lot of YouTube and watching data analysis tutorials and trying to figure out how to work with my data sets that I was working with. Those moments were work, yes. Figuring out how to get my data to make sense was hard. It took effort. It took time. But at the end of all that work, I felt good. I liked what I accomplished. I felt energized. I felt smart. I felt like I had done something meaningful. I felt capable. Misaligned work is the exact opposite. You spend all your energy trying to figure things out, and when you're done, you feel terrible. You feel drained. You think, that was so tedious. I can't believe I had to do all that, and I have to do it all again tomorrow. It doesn't energize you. It doesn't make you feel capable. It makes you, in fact, feel like you're not good enough for your job. And if you are in that cycle long enough, you start to believe that you're not good at it. And eventually you believe that you're not good at anything. So the solution isn't working on your confidence. The solution isn't to build your self-esteem and say affirmations in the mirror while you're still in the environment that is destroying your self-esteem. The solution is recognizing that you have been in an environment that has worn you down so much that it has made you lose confidence in yourself. And if you were in an environment that valued you, that really saw you, you would be more confident. Because you would have opportunities to shine. You would have opportunities to show up and provide value. You would be doing work that actually fits you, and that work would remind you of what you're capable of. And if there's any chance that you're thinking to yourself, okay, but what if I'm actually just not good at anything? Like, what if it's not the job? What if it's me? I hear you. But here's what I would say I want you to realize is that if you were truly not good at what you do, you wouldn't have a job. You wouldn't have made it this far. You wouldn't have kept your job for as long as you've kept your job, because your company wouldn't keep you around if you weren't adding value somehow. So the question isn't whether you're good enough. The question is whether you are in an environment that allows you to be good. Because even the most talented person will start to doubt themselves in a toxic environment or when doing the work doesn't fit them. So hopefully this was helpful, right? Hopefully it helped you see things differently and recognize that there are two ways your job might be destroying your confidence. One, the toxic environment is wearing you down and making you internalize negativity that is just not true about you. And two, the work itself is misaligned with who you are. So it doesn't feel good when you do it, and that makes you doubt your value. And the solution to getting your confidence back is that you have to recognize that it's not a you problem. It's an environment problem. You're in the wrong work environment. And then that means now you have to make a plan to get in a work environment that actually values you and lets you do work that fits who you are. And if you're realizing that your work environment really is destroying your confidence and you are ready to transition into a, I would say, healthier and more fulfilling career, but you're thinking to yourself, okay, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what else I can do. I don't know what I'm qualified for. Then you should definitely check out my Peaceful Pivot Guide. I created this guide as a self-paced resource to help you really clarify what other roles you're qualified to pivot into with your current skill set. And it breaks down the exact 5 steps to help you leave that job that's draining you and pivot into a new industry, a new field, or just a more fulfilling, higher paying career. You can learn more about how to grab your copy of that guide at pivotwithpeace.com, or you can even just check the link in the description below to grab your copy. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. That way you don't miss future videos that will help you in your career. It also tells YouTube to share this video with more women who need this message. Now, once you hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons below, don't click away, because guess what? There's another video popping up on the screen right here. Go ahead and click that video. Watch that video. Let me continue supporting you in your career.